Good evening, student athletes, coaches, parents, and guardians. My name is Eliza Zwettler, and I am privileged to be the athletic director here at Prairie Middle School. Thank you for attending tonight's code meeting. The great French philosopher Sartre says, "I am an agent who acts, and as a consequence is responsible for my intentional actions." As a student athlete at Prairie Middle School, you are responsible for your actions on and off the athletic field. You will be held to a high standard of acting in ethical ways. Sun Prairie student athletes, therefore Prairie View Middle School athletes, are committed to understanding that participation is a privilege. It is something that needs to be earned every day. Sun Prairie strives to provide an educationally based extracurricular experience that is an extension of the classroom and affords students the opportunity to learn life lessons while participating in a sport, activity, or club. These opportunities are rooted in the following core traits: accountability, respect, coachability, passion, discipline, a spirit of sacrifice, integrity, commitment, and unity. As a student athlete, the Sun Prairie School District, you have the responsibility to represent your community and school in the most appropriate of ways. At Sun Prairie Schools, our student athletes are people who demonstrate accountability, or putting forth the effort and attitude to make yourself and your team better by doing what is right even when no one is watching. Your success in the classroom, community, and in your sport starts with your decisions. Respect. Respect of coaches, teammates, opponents, fans, and all other aspects of the privilege to participate in an educationally based sport. Coachability. Having the desire to improve and the will to accept constructive feedback from coaches and peers. Being willing to do the extra work to be the best at your role. Passion. No team can be successful without having passion. Love for the game and the desire to make those around you better portrays a team-first attitude. Discipline. Training hard, making good life choices, being early and staying late. If a student athlete is disciplined, they will value these things. A spirit of sacrifice. A real student athlete will give up something temporarily for the purpose of making others better. You can't have it all and do it all. Overcommitting and under-delivering are not enduring qualities. Integrity. A student athlete must possess a moral foundation when it comes to fulfilling his or her expectations. Playing above and beyond the rules shows that you are someone to be trusted in the classroom, in the community, and on the competition field. Commitment. Making a conscious decision to fully invest in the team pursuits and protecting your team from things that could get them off the path. Unity. Treat your teammates, teachers, and coaches how you want to be treated. Choose words, actions, and responsibilities that draw you closer to the team goals. Participation in middle school athletics is a privilege that is an optional addition to a student's middle school experience. Therefore, additional rules apply to those who participate. Students who violate a rule from the Sun Prairie School Student and Family Handbook will be held accountable for violating both district and extracurricular rules. The expectations of student athletes are good academic standings. Students should have no 1s or 0s on their report card and should have 50% of all work handed in. Good attendance standing. Students must attend school the day of practice or contest in order to participate that evening. Good behavior standing. No in-school or out-of-school suspensions. Students must have all paperwork on file. This includes the code of conduct, physical form, blue card, and concussion form. Student athletes must attend all practices, contests, and team meetings. Lastly, they should be treating all teammates, coaches, officials, opponents, and other personnel with respect. As we all know, sometimes we make mistakes. As a consequence of making mistakes, we have various levels of prohibited behaviors and consequences that accompany them. Prohibited Level 1 behaviors include, but are not limited to, academic dishonesty, truancy, insubordination, disrespect, forgery, and lying. Consequences for a Level 1 violation could be up to, but not limited to, an administrator meeting, a written warning, a one-game suspension of the current or next sport, and all of this will be at the discretion of the coach, athletic director, or assistant principal. During this suspension period, a student athlete will be expected to practice with the team and complete the season. Prohibited Level 2 violations include, but are not limited to, bullying or hazing, theft, vandalism, and repeated Level 1 violations. Consequences for a Level 2 violation include, student athlete will be suspended 25% of the current or next sports season, or it will be extended into successive seasons if the entire suspension is not served within the season during which the first offense occurs. During the suspension period, a student athlete will be expected to practice with the team and complete the season. Level 3 prohibited behaviors include, but are not limited to, drug, alcohol, or tobacco offenses, threat or possession of a weapon, being charged with a crime, or repeated Level 1 or 2 offenses. Because of the severity of these offenses, consequence for a Level 3 violation include the student athlete will be removed from participating in the athletic activities for the remainder of the school year. The student athlete and their parent or guardian must attend a re-entry meeting with the athletic director and assistant principal prior to being admitted to any athletic teams in the future. Because it is important for a student with an IEP or 504 accommodation plan to be able to access extracurricular activities and the success and personal development opportunities such activities provide, behaviors, academics or otherwise, directly related to their disability will not negatively impact participation in extracurricular activities. Eligibility decisions, when in questions, will be made in a timely fashion by the appropriate IEP or 504 team. Students with disabilities who require accommodations in order to access extracurricular activities should notify the school administrator. The WIAA and Badger Conference require that all coaches complete the National Federation of State High School Associations online concussion training. A concussion is a type of a traumatic brain injury that can have many life-altering effects. As parents, athletes, administrators, and coaches, it is imperative that all people are educated in the signs and symptoms of concussions. Attached in the Code of Conduct is a list of signs and symptoms and the 2017-2018 concussion agreement. This states that as a parent and as an athlete, it is important to recognize the signs, symptoms, and behaviors of concussions. By signing the form, you are stating that you understand the importance of recognizing and responding to the signs, symptoms, and behaviors of a concussion or head injury. When in doubt, sit them out. Some of the signs of a concussion, or what other people can notice in an injured athlete, are the following: noticing the athlete is dazed or confused, a change in their level of consciousness or awareness, confused about their assignment on offense or defense, forgets the plays in the game, doesn't know the score, game, or opponent, appears to be clumsy, answers questions more slowly than usual, shows behavior changes, loses consciousness, or asks repetitive questions, or appears to have memory loss. Symptoms of concussions are how the athlete is feeling. Some of the most common symptoms include headache, nausea, dizzy or unsteady feeling, sensitivity to light or noise, feeling mentally foggy, problems with concentration and memory, and feeling confused or slow. As parents, athletes, coaches, administrators, athletic trainers, and doctors, it is all of our responsibilities to monitor students who have had any type of head injury. If an athlete is exhibiting any of the signs or symptoms, it is best to remove them from competition and have them checked out by a medical professional before returning to competition. Athletes with concussions will not be able to return to play without gaining clearance from a health care provider. Students will not be able to participate in any athletics until all forms are handed in. This includes a statement of agreement and the concussion acknowledgement agreement shown here. They must also have their physical card turned in and signed and dated by a doctor, as well as their blue emergency contact card. There are extra copies of all of these in the athletic office as well as online. The eligibility rules we have just discussed are not all-inclusive. Prairie View Middle School reserves the right to remove any student athletes from events or activities as consequences of their behavior. The degree or severity of any offense does contribute to the level of consequences determined by the school administrator. Students are being offered the opportunity to participate in interscholastic sports, in many cases, for the first time in their lives. As a result, they are learning not only the skills involved in that sport or activity, but also valuable life skills, such as responsibility to a group or team, sportsmanship, and respect for opponents, coaches, teammates, and community. Just to review, it is important that all student athletes are in good academic and attendance standing, as well as practicing great behavior. It is important to remember that as a student athlete, you are often held to a higher standard than the other students, and all eyes can be on you. Although I hope that I don't see any of these student athletes in my office because of poor behavior, the Code of Conduct will guide which direction we head. I realize that middle school and high school athletes make mistakes, and I hope that we can work together to work out any such incident. A reminder to parents and athletes that concussions are a dangerous type of brain injury, and if there is any question that your child may have sustained a concussion, they must be seen by a medical professional before returning to play. And again, all paperwork must be turned into the athletic office before the student athlete is allowed to practice. Lastly, I was recently at an NFL football game where the home team started to boo the coach for a play call he had made. It made me very upset because as fans, we do not always know what is best for the team. The call ended up working out and the team won the game. I think it is a great reminder for fans to let coaches, officials, and athletes do their job. Let coaches coach, players play, officials officiate, and fans be positive fans in the stands. If by chance I see you or your student athlete in my office this school year, I suggest that you accept responsibility for your actions, be accountable for your results, and take ownership of your mistakes. This is not only a great lesson for a student athlete, but for life. We appreciate your willingness to make this a valuable and enjoyable experience for all of our students. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you for your time.